Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about one of those incredibly practical yet often daunting real life scenarios when you're in a new place. Making a doctor's appointment and navigating medical conversations in English. You know that feeling, right? That little pang of dread when you realize you're not feeling well, quickly followed by the bigger dread of trying to explain it clearly in another language. For many of you listening, that language is English. We've all been there needing to communicate something crucial about our health, but feeling, well, tongue-tied or unsure of the right phrases. It's more than just a little uncomfortable. It can feel like a real barrier to getting the care you need. I remember once trying to explain a persistent cough and feeling like I was auditioning for a horror film with my wild gestures because the words just wouldn't come.
Oh, that's a perfect example of why this deep dive is so important.
Yeah.
It's absolutely true that this isn't just about learning words. It's about gaining confidence and control over your well-being, no matter where you are in the world. Imagine the peace of mind knowing you can clearly articulate what's wrong, understand the diagnosis, and ask informed questions.
Right.
It's huge.
Right.
Today, we're going to take a deep dive into exactly how to do that, transforming a potentially anxiety-inducing task into a manageable and even confident conversation. We'll give you the essential vocabulary, key phrases, and even tackle some common grammatical hurdles that, trip people up.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Our mission today is to equip you, the listener, with the knowledge to feel secure and in control. From the moment you even think about calling a clinic all the way through your conversation with the doctor, think of this as your shortcut to medical communication clarity. We're going to arm you with the phrases and understanding so you can walk into that situation feeling, well, prepared. So before you even pick up the phone, it's really helpful to arm yourself with the basic terms, Knowing who you'll interact with, what places you might go, and what documents you'll need can make all the difference, cutting down on confusion right from the start.
That's spot on. Knowing these foundational words will significantly reduce any initial confusion and build your confidence. It's like having a map before you start your journey, isn't it?
Exactly, a map.
Let's begin with the people you'll encounter in a medical setting. First, of course, is the doctor, often just doctor. Then there's the general practitioner, or GP.
GP, right. You hear that a lot.
You do, especially in the UK and many Commonwealth countries. It refers to your primary care doctor, the one you see for, everyday health concerns. It's a good one to remember as it's often used interchangeably with doctor in many places.
So if you're in London, it's quite common to say, I need to see my GP rather than just my doctor. How much does understanding that specific term impact how smoothly your initial interaction goes?
Oh, it can make a huge difference, seriously. Using GP in the right context immediately signals a level of familiarity with the local healthcare system, which can put both you and the clinic staff, a bit more at ease.
Okay, good tip.
Beyond the GP, you might need a specialist, like a cardiologist for heart issues or a dermatologist for skin conditions. These are doctors focused on a very specific area of medicine. Then you'll definitely interact with the receptionist. They're usually the first point of contact, managing appointments and paperwork.
Right, the gatekeepers almost?
Kind of. And of course, the nurse, who assists the doctor and provides care. And finally, the most important person in this scenario, the patient, which is you.
Okay, so we've got the people. Now, what about the places and paperwork? These are the physical settings and the crucial documents you'll need to have ready, or at least understand. It's not just about what you say, but also about understanding the environment and what information you're being asked for, right?
Yes, understanding the context is crucial for streamlining the process. You'll likely be going to a doctor's office or a clinic. If it's something more serious or requires specialized equipment, you might end up at a hospital.
Hospital, okay.
Once you arrive, you'll probably spend some time in the waiting room. After your visit, you might need to go to a pharmacy or perhaps a chemist's if you're in the UK to pick up medication.
Pharmacy, chemists. Good distinction there. And the terminology around the actual visit itself, that's important too.
Indeed. The visit itself is called an appointment. You might also hear it referred to as a consultation.
Consultation, right.
If you're going for a routine health check, that's usually called a checkup. And what the doctor gives you for medication is a prescription.
Prescription, okay.
You'll definitely need to be familiar with symptoms, which are what you feel, and you'll need your insurance card ready, along with being able to provide your medical history. Those last two are vital for administrative purposes and, well, for proper care.
And of course, the whole reason you're calling, the symptoms. These are the words you'll use to describe what's going on with your body. Being precise here can really help the doctor understand quickly and accurately.
Yeah, clear communication here is paramount. We're talking about things like a fever or high temperature. A cough is very common. A sore throat, a scratchy, painful feeling. A headache, stomach ache, or some people say belly ache.
The bellyache, yeah, more informal.
Exactly.
Mm.
You want to feel nausea or to feel nauseous, which is that sick feeling in your stomach. Dizziness or to feel dizzy when you feel like the room is spinning. A rash is a skin irritation. And then there's the flu, which is usually more severe, distinct from a cold, which is generally milder. Knowing these specific terms helps you paint a clear picture for the doctor, no matter how rotten you're feeling.
So we've got our vocabulary armor on. We know the people, the places, the paperwork, and the symptoms. Okay. Now, for many, just thinking about making that first phone call is where the real stress kicks in. How do we tackle that confidently? All right, this is often the first big hurdle, the phone call itself. But with the right phrases, you will sound confident and clear, even if you're a little nervous on the inside. What are the absolute must-know phrases for initiating that call when you're trying to book an appointment?
Okay, this is where politeness and precision really come in. Remember, you're making a request, not a demand. The most common and polite way to start is, "Hello, I'd like to make an appointment to see Dr. Smith, please."
Yeah.
The key here is, it's crucial for sounding natural and respectful.
That "I'd like" feels so much more comfortable to use, doesn't it? Can you unpack why that specific phrasing holds so much weight in these situations beyond just, basic politeness?
That's a great question, actually, because it's not just about etiquette. In many English-speaking healthcare systems, there's an emphasis on the patient as a sort of collaborative partner in their care.
Oh.
Okay, I like subtly signals that you understand this dynamic. You are requesting a service, but you also have a say in your own health journey. It sets a more positive, cooperative tone for the entire interaction right from the start.
That makes sense.
If you don't have a specific doctor in mind, you can say, "I'd like to make an appointment with the next available doctor." This shows you're flexible and just need to be seen.
Good option.
If it's your first time visiting that clinic, it's helpful to state up front, "I'm a new patient." This saves the masking and just speeds up the process a bit.
Right.
For the general reason, you can simply say, "I'm not feeling well," or "I need to come in for a checkup," if it's a routine visit.
Okay, that's a huge relief for many of us. How much detail should we give the receptionist on the phone then? Is there a point where it's too much or conversely, maybe too little information?
That's a key distinction, yeah. For the receptionist, less is often more. They are primarily there to schedule, not diagnose.
Got it.
A brief, general reason is usually sufficient enough for them to understand the urgency or type of appointment needed, maybe, but not your entire medical history. That's for the doctor.
Okay.
And then there's the negotiation of dates and times, you might ask. What's your earliest available appointment? Or do you have anything available on Monday? And if their suggestion doesn't work, don't be afraid to say, "I'm sorry, I can't make it then. Is there anything in the afternoon?" It's perfectly okay to ask for alternatives. They expect that.
This brings us to a really important point. What are some of the most common mistakes people make at this stage? And why are they considered errors? Because it's not always about being grammatically wrong, is it? Sometimes it's about sounding natural and polite or just avoiding misinterpretation.
Exactly. This is where we can really fine-tune your communication. Let's look at some common pitfalls. Common mistake number 1, saying, "I want an appointment." While grammatically understandable, it can sound quite direct, almost like a demand.
Yeah, and in English, especially in service interactions, that directness can sometimes be perceived as impolite, can't it? It's not just about being understood, but about making a good impression.
Precisely. The correct way, as we just discussed, is "I'd like to make an appointment." The difference in nuance is significant. "I want" sounds too abrupt, almost like you're ordering food fast. "I'd like" is the standard, polite, and universally accepted way to make requests. It's about cultural nuance as much as grammar, really. You want to appear cooperative and respectful, not demanding.
Okay, that's clear. What's next?
Common mistake number 2, "I need see a doctor." This one is a clear grammatical error. The verb need, when followed by another action, requires an infinitive.
So it's missing a key, tiny word there, a little "to."
It is, that little "to." The correct phrase is, "I need see a doctor." After the verb need, when followed by another action, we absolutely use the infinitive with "to." This is a fundamental rule of verb structure in English, and missing that "to" immediately flags it as, well, not quite right. It's a small word, but it carries a lot of grammatical weight.
Gotcha. And the third one.
And finally, common mistake number 3. I have pain in my throat. While it's not strictly incorrect grammatically, it sounds a bit clunky and not quite natural to a native speaker's ear.
Right, because we have a perfectly good everyday phrase for that, don't we?
Exactly. The correct and most natural way to say this is, I have a sore throat. While the first phrase isn't strictly wrong, sore throat is the natural idiomatic expression that all native speakers use. Using it shows a higher level of fluency and makes you sound much more natural. It's similar to saying runny nose instead of like, my nose is running liquid. We have these common established phrases for everyday ailments, and using them signals a greater command of the language.
So what does this all mean? It means a little linguistic refinement, a little polish on those common phrases goes a long way. It helps in making a good impression, getting what you need, and feeling much more confident in the process. It's about speaking like a native, not just translating directly, and understanding the subtle signals you send.
Absolutely. So let's maybe put all those phrases together into a realistic phone conversation so you can hear how it flows. Imagine yourself on the phone, ready to make that call. This is where it all comes to life.
Yeah, this is where it really clicks, seeing how it all fits together. We'll walk you through a typical call, showing you what the receptionist might say and how you can respond confidently, using all the tools we just discussed.
Okay, so the phone rings.
And you hear,
Good morning, Central Clinic. How can I help you?
now your turn. You respond politely and directly, remembering that key phrase.
Hello, I'd like to make an appointment to see a doctor, please.
Straight to the point,
Yep.
polite, that sets a good tone. Then they'll probably ask.
Of course. Have you been to our clinic before?
This is where you state your status. Since you're new, you'd say.
No, I haven't. I'm a new patient.
Simple, clear, and gives them the information they need to start your record. Seems straightforward enough, yeah? All right. Could I get your full name, please?
Always be prepared for this one. This is where you confidently provide your details.
Sure, it's your full name.
They'll confirm and then get to the crux of the matter.
Thank you, your name. And what is the reason for your visit today?
Okay, here. You give a brief general reason using those symptom words we practiced. No need for a full monologue or anything.
I am not feeling well. I have a bad cough and a fever.
Notice you didn't have to explain every single little detail. Just enough for them to understand the urgency and perhaps, triage you to the right type of appointment.
Exactly.
I see. Let me check our schedule. We have an opening with Dr. Evans tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Would that work for you?
And if it does, you just confirm clearly.
Yes, that's perfect.
Excellent. They'll then confirm all the details back to you. Listen carefully here.
Great. So that's an appointment for your name with Dr. Evans tomorrow's date at 10:30 a.m. Please remember to bring your ID and insurance card. We're located at 123 Main Street.
Listen carefully to all the details, especially the address and what to bring, and then a polite wrap-up.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much.
And finally, they'll say,
You're welcome. See you tomorrow.
see? It's completely manageable when you break it down like that. You just navigated a full phone conversation to book a doctor's appointment in English. That's a huge win. Now, let's move on to the actual visit itself. Okay, so you've made the appointment, you're there in the doctor's office, you probably filled out some paperwork, maybe sat in the waiting room for a bit, and now you're finally face-to-face with the doctor. This is the crucial part, explaining what you feel. How do we articulate those symptoms clearly and naturally in a way the doctor immediately understands?
Right. This is where we often shift tenses to accurately describe ongoing or recent symptoms. For continuous symptoms, something that started in the past and is still happening now, we often use the present perfect continuous.
Okay, that sounds technical, but how does it work in practice?
It's simpler than it sounds. You'd say, I've been feeling, plus an adjective. For example, I've been feeling very tired for the past few days. Or, I've been feeling dizzy since yesterday. This tense, have been feeling, is perfect for actions or states that started in the past and continue right up to the present moment, which is exactly what symptoms often do. It tells the doctor this isn't just a sudden thing.
Ah, I see. So it's not just I feel tired, but I have been feeling tired. That really changes the meaning, conveying a duration and maybe a deeper impact on your daily life, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It gives context. Now, for more specific, distinct symptoms, you would usually use I have a, plus the symptom noun.
Like?
Like I have a headache, or I have a sore throat, or I have a rash. You might also say, I have a sharp pain in my chest. It's more direct for specific things.
And when it started, that's always important for the doctor to know, isn't it? Helps them piece together the timeline.
Absolutely essential. To tell them when it started, you'd say, it started. plus a period of time. The headache started this morning, or this cough started 3 days ago.
Yeah.
This helps the doctor gauge the duration and progression of your symptoms. And when describing pain, you can use powerful adjectives to be specific. Sharp, like a knife. Dull, a constant, less intense ache. Constant meaning it never goes away. Or throbbing, a pulsing pain, kind of like a heartbeat.
Okay, sharp, dull, constant throbbing.
Saying, I have a sharp pain in my knee, gives much more information than just, my knee hurts.
This level of specificity is also crucial because, in many English-speaking medical cultures, doctors rely heavily on your precise description to guide their diagnosis, maybe even more than in cultures where doctors might rely more on intuition or less direct patient input.
That's a fascinating insight, actually. It highlights why those descriptive words aren't just nice to have, but actually vital for effective care. And what if you have a pre-existing condition or something that doctors should be aware of from your past medical history? Very important point. You'd say, I have a history of, for example, I have a history of asthma, or I have a history of allergies.
Mm.
And if you know you're allergic to specific medications, always state clearly, I'm allergic to, for example, I'm allergic to penicillin. This is vital safety information that could literally save your life. Don't ever hesitate to mention allergies.
Right, absolutely critical. Okay, great. So you've told the doctor how you're feeling, maybe answered their initial questions. What are some common questions you can expect the doctor to ask you next to further narrow down the issue? Being prepared for these can make the conversation flow much more smoothly.
Yeah, knowing these helps you anticipate and prepare your answers so you're not caught off guard. The doctor will likely start with something like, so what seems to be the problem? Or what brings you in today?
Okay, standard opener.
That this is your cue to describe your main concerns. They'll almost certainly ask, how long have you been feeling this way? This is where it started, or I've been feeling. Phrases come right in handy to give them that timeline.
Yeah.
If you mention pain, they'll probably ask, where does it hurt? Or maybe even, can you point to exactly where the pain is? And then to begin the examination, they might say, let me take a look, or I'm just going to examine you now. Being ready for these standard questions will make you feel much more in control of the conversation.
Okay, the doctor has examined you. You've explained your symptoms as best you can. Now comes the moment of diagnosis or maybe a treatment plan. But remember, this is a two-way street. You have every right and, frankly, a responsibility to ask questions yourself. What are some key phrases for you to use once the doctor has examined you or given a diagnosis to ensure you fully understand everything?
Absolutely. You need to empower yourself to understand your health. The doctor might say things like, I'm going to prescribe some medication, or you need to get some rest. That's their part. Your part is to ensure you understand what that means for you. So some essential questions you should feel comfortable asking are, what do you think it is? This is direct and gets to the core of the diagnosis.
Okay, simple and direct.
Then, is it serious? It's a natural concern, and you have every right to ask. Don't feel shy about asking this.
Absolutely. You don't want to leave the office with more questions than answers, especially when it comes to your health. That just adds stress.
Precisely. If they mention medication, always ask, do I need to take any medication? And if yes, then follow up with, how often should I take this? The dosage and frequency are critical, so don't assume anything.
Right.
And here's a phrase that is truly invaluable, something I always recommend people use. Could you write that down for me, please?
Yeah.
This is such a practical tip. It's polite, it's clear, and it ensures you have the information accurately when you get home or go to the pharmacy. It removes all doubt about dosages or complex instructions, especially if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed or unwell.
Could you write that down for me, is absolute gold. A real game changer for many listeners, I bet. Never, ever be afraid to ask for clarity. Especially when it comes to your health, it's better to ask a simple question than to make a mistake later or be left wondering.
Exactly. Couldn't agree more. And finally, you might need to ask, do I need to schedule a follow-up appointment? This ensures continuity of care and that you know what the next steps are supposed to be. These questions demonstrate that you're engaged in your own health journey and ensure you leave the appointment with a clear understanding of your condition and treatment plan. Remember, advocating for yourself in healthcare is a crucial part of managing your well-being, and clear communication is your strongest tool. Now, communication isn't just about words, it's also about being understood. Even if you know the vocabulary perfectly, mispronunciation can sometimes lead to confusion or just make things a bit awkward. So let's tackle some tricky pronunciations to ensure your message gets across clearly and confidently. Think of this as our pronunciation gym for today.
I like that. Let's do it. We're going to flex those pronunciation muscles and iron out some common snags. What's first on the list?
Okay, let's start with appointment. Many people put the stress on the wrong syllable, which can make it a bit hard to catch. The emphasis is on the second syllable, so you should say, appointment.
Appointment.
Exactly. Say it with me, appointment. Get that stress right, and it sounds much more natural.
That makes a huge difference in clarity. Okay. What about those common aches? It seems like ache, A-C-H-E, trips a lot of people up.
It absolutely does. For stomach ache, headache, or backache, the word ache, which means pain, almost always sounds like the letter A followed by K. So for stomach ache, you say, stomach ache.
Stumwishy ache.
Perfect. It's not a K or atch or anything else, just E-I-K. Same goes for headache and backache. It's one of those silent G situations that English loves.
That's a really common one to get wrong. Good tip. And then there's that tricky oof sound in some words, like C-O-U-G-H.
Indeed. Take cough. The G-A in cough has an F sound. It sounds like cough.
Cough.
Yeah, not coog, not cough, just cough. Think of it like the word off with a K sound in front. Cough. It's an irregular spelling, so you really just have to memorize that sound.
Got it. Cough. Okay. What about medications? The word itself can be a bit of a mouthful sometimes. P-R-E-I-I-P-T-I-O-N.
For prescription, the emphasis is again on the second syllable. It's prescription.
Prescription.
Exactly, not prescription. Get that script part clear and stressed. Prescription.
Okay. And one more, that feeling of sickness. N-A-U-S-E-A. It's a word I hear mispronounced quite a bit.
Yes, nausea. This one can be tricky because it actually has a couple of accepted pronunciations, which doesn't help. But generally it's pronounced as nausea or sometimes nausea.
Nausea or nausea?
Yeah. The key is that now sound is like not or no. So nausea or nausea, it's one of those words that feels a bit awkward until you've said it out loud a few times.
Definitely helps to practice that one. Okay, now it's your turn, listeners. The best way to get comfortable with these phrases and pronunciations is to actually use them. I remember when I was learning a new language, I used to practice ordering coffee out loud in my kitchen. It felt silly at the time, but honestly, when I actually had to do it for real, the words were there. So we challenge you to try these exercises right now, out loud, to build that muscle memory.
Active practice is absolutely key to retention and confidence. It really is. First, try a simulation. Imagine you have a sore throat and a fever. Out loud, call a clinic and make an appointment using the phrases we covered today. Go through the whole scenario, from greeting the receptionist to confirming the appointment details. Don't just think it. Actually say the words.
That's a fantastic exercise. You can even role play with a friend if you have one, or just talk to yourself in the mirror. It might feel a bit silly, but it truly works.
It really does. Don't underestimate it. Second, describe. Think of a cold you've had recently, or even one from a few years ago. Describe the symptoms in English to yourself using the phrases you learned today. For example, last month I had a bad cold. I had a runny nose and I was coughing a lot. Oh, and I've been feeling quite weak for about 3 days. Something like that.
That's a great way to solidify the vocabulary and grammar without the pressure of a real situation. And finally, we'd love to hear from you. We always say the deep dive is about you, the listener. So let us know. Which phrase from this deep dive did you find most useful? Was there one that really stood out? And can you describe a simple symptom in English right now? For example, today I have a headache, or maybe something else. And thinking bigger picture, what other daily situations make you nervous to speak in English? We're always looking for new deep dive topics based on what you need. Let us know in the comments or wherever you engage with us.
Definitely. Caring for your health is, well, it's a top priority, isn't it? And being prepared to do so in English brings immense peace of mind. Remember, the goal isn't to sound like a medical professional overnight, but simply to communicate effectively and clearly so you can get the care you need without extra stress. Every step you take in mastering these essential conversations is a step towards greater independence and, frankly, just feeling more comfortable wherever you are.
You absolutely can do this. Every small step, like learning one new phrase or practicing one tricky pronunciation, is a big victory in gaining confidence and control over these essential life situations. This deep dive should give you a fantastic head start and a really solid foundation to build on. And that's our topic for today. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to explore the other videos on our channel to continue your English practice.